Hello, good morning, and welcome to this week's serving of Mickey Waffles, a Disney podcast where we cover everything from parks, movies, and merchandise. My name is Sinead.
My name's Kate. Hi, guys. How's it going?
I'm good, Kate. How are you?
I'm good. You know what today is, Sinead?
Today's Tuesday.
You know what that means. It's Special Guest Tuesday! Woo!
I made it.
And this time around, we have the other guy with 1,000 podcasts. We have Ryan.
I made it. I finally made it.
He's here, everyone. Relax. He's here. He made it.
What, third time's a charm?
Yeah, we'd get there.
Got there eventually. So how are you, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm really good, actually. I mean,
Good.
besides the pumpkin spice woes, which we just talked about in our pre-show chat, but if I feel like if I start on that, we're going to be talking about it for an hour.
Sorry. Like, my thoughts go out to you, to be honest. I honestly, and I didn't even know. I think what makes me feel the worst is, like, I wasn't even aware.
I was supposed to be going to Disney World this month, and, like, the killing blow is no pumpkin spice as well.
Oh, no.
It's not fair.
Gosh.
Oh, it's sad times all around.
Oh, deepers. We won't talk about the amount I've had in the past week, so we'll just let it lie.
Moving swiftly on from that.
Moving on. How was your week then, Sinead?
My week's been a time. We thought we lost Binks yesterday.
Yeah.
She's missing for 2 days, which is a long time for a cat that refuses to go outside a lot of the time. So that was a stressful time. But other than that, it's actually been fine.
That's what happens when your cat's a wagon.
She is a wagon.
Yeah, I'm fine. Everything's fine. I bought a new pair of Docs.
You did? I forgot about this.
They're so pink. It's great. I wore them. We had to go to the vet, and the vet's like 5 minutes down the road, and I was like, I'll wear them to the vet. I'll start small. By the time I got home, I was like, these have to come off.
They wreck your ankles.
Oh, see, they don't wreck my ankles. They wreck my heel and like the bridge of my foot.
Oh, lovely.
My ankles are obviously a lot stronger than yours. You know.
What can I say? Weak ankles. How's your week been, Ryan?
Yeah, it's good. I've slowly been building Diagon Alley.
Oh, yeah. I saw this on Twitter.
Look, right, okay. I've got pumpkin spice. I think you've got something much better.
I'll trade you.
Happily.
No, it's incredible, actually. It's a really good set, but because I've got a 3-month-old and I'm building it with my wife, it's kind of like every other night for maybe an hour. So it's a slow build. There's like 5,000 pieces, so it's going to take a while.
Wow.
But it's good.
Have you been tempted to just kind of go and do it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I haven't laid a single brick by myself yet.
Wow. That's control.
I know.
That's impressive.
But an hour every second night's still a good go at it. Like an hour gets you very far in Lego.
Yeah, it's like it's basically like a bag of Lego every other day.
Yeah,
It isn't
that's
too
good.
bad. We're almost done with Ollivanders.
It looks like such a pretty set.
Yeah, and that's the reason I bought it over the Hogwarts Castle, because the Hogwarts Castle looks great, but it's just, for me, it's all grey.
Yeah.
And Diagon Alley is so colourful. I thought, yeah, I've got to have that.
So is that the only piece you have from like the Harry Potter collection? Is that the only piece, or do you have something else?
So we've got the Hogwarts Express, we've got the Night Bus, and we've got Privet Drive.
Oh, cute. I only have the Night Bus.
Night Bus is great.
Yeah, it just sits there by itself. It was also a really quick build, which I was really sad about. I did it really quickly. I was like, oh, it's done now.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, everything takes longer for us now that we've got a baby. It's even a small set like that took us, I think, almost a week.
Jesus, took me like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, Kate, no need to show off.
No, I'm just comparing. It's called compare and contrast. Oh, but that's good. It's good that
And then
you're
they
doing.
just announced Mos Eisley as well, the cantina.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, money only goes so far.
It's tempting.
Do you have a space for all your Lego?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
No. That's the big problem. Well, we're currently trying to sell our flat to move into a house.
Fair.
It's slow. It's very slow progress. So I'm kind of buying sets and hoping for the best.
That's the problem we currently have. Is there's so much Lego, but we don't have anywhere to put it.
Yeah.
We both have quite big Lego sets. Like we've got like the Batmobile and the big ship, and it's like they don't just like sit nicely on a shelf. They need like somewhere good to go, and we're just like, well, guess they're just staying somewhere else for the minute.
Yeah, like Hogwarts Express is on the like dining room table. We're basically like, we'll just eat on lap trays for now.
Lego always takes precedent.
Yeah.
Gotta pick your priorities. Something exciting from your week, Kate?
No, I don't think anything tops Lego Diagon now, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
I beg to differ, Kate. We had a very important announcement about 2 days ago that is very niche, but any Irish people listening will be very excited about the fact
To be
that
honest,
Teo
it's
are bringing
more
back
of a-
Banshee Bones.
Yeah, it's more of a thing for you than it is for me. I've never had Banshee Bones in my life.
Really?
Yeah, I've never had them.
How old were you when you moved over here?
It was 1990, end of 1996, I think.
Oh, okay. But how did you not have them growing up?
I don't know. I didn't like crisps. I don't know what to tell you.
They're crisps.
They are.
I
Hold
thought they
on,
were like
I'll find-
Percy pigs.
You thought they were
No.
what?
Percy pigs.
No. Oh, Jesus, God, no.
Imagine.
No, they're crisps. They're like
No, they are crisp.
corn puffs,
What's wrong with
almost.
Percy pigs?
Nothing. I love them. They're great.
Oh, okay, fine.
But it's just Banshee Bones are just a very different thing. I'll show you a packet.
Yeah, I think I was more
this
so
is what they
laughing
look like.
that you thought they were
Like-
Percy pigs, not that Percy pigs are bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
So they are like extreme salt and vinegar. I like to describe them as they would almost kind of burn a hole in your tongue. They're that salt and vinegary.
nice.
So they were my favorite crisps when I was a child, and then they've been discontinued for absolute years. But people keep badgering Tato about them, so now Tato are bringing them back for the Halloween season, and I'm bloody buzzing. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it was like national
Very niche
news
thing
as
to be excited
well.
about, but here we
Like
are.
everyone must know. But
It
I went
really
into
was.
work. I went into work, and one of the girls went to me. She was like, "They're bringing back Banshee Bones." That was like the first thing she said to me when I got in the door. I was like, "I know, yeah, yeah, they are, yeah." And she was like, "I just saw it on Twitter." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, calm down."
Your national news sounds far more interesting than mine.
Or our national news currently
All
consists
potato
of
related.
Banshee Bones, the Irish Hype House, and what was the other stupid one that happened? Oh, I can't remember. Mostly Banshee Bones and the Irish Hype House. They're the two big ones going on at the
Yeah.
moment.
It's terrifically exciting.
It's way more exciting than Boris being an idiot on a weekly basis, daily basis, I should say, really.
Well, can't argue with that, really.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Totally fair.
Kind of stuck with that one. So.
Yep, it's fine. Only 4 more years.
Oh.
Woo. So I'll see if I have your rap sheet right. You've got the theme park trader, you've got the customer is always weird, Disney Parks and Beyond,
Yeah.
then that Universal podcast, and you also write for Inside the Magic. So you're only
Yes.
mildly busy, on top of
Yeah,
also
quite-
having
quite
a
busy.
infant and a day job.
Yes.
And a wife.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, people often think that I don't have a day job, but I do.
It's an impressive call sheet, I have to say.
It's very busy, particularly since starting with Inside the Magic as well. It's definitely keeps me busy, but it's good. I like doing it.
I mean, chances are you're probably like us and you just kind of keep on track of everything. You keep tabs on what's happening anyway, so you may as well just do something with the useless knowledge that you pull in anyways.
Well, this is it. Basically, what happened was people just kept telling me to shut up at work, so I thought I'll just do a podcast.
Doing a podcast.
So that's just kind of how it works, really.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's how everyone starts their podcast. Is
I feel
they
like
get they get really niche about something, then everyone who's around them is like, "Would you ever shut the fuck up?" And you're like, "Fine, I'll go tell people on the internet about it then."
I'll prove to you that people care. Yeah, it worked out.
Right, have we anything else, or shall we get on to a bit of news?
No, I think we should get on with the news. Starting off with some super sad news. Rhythm of the Pride Lands, Jungle Book Drive are both officially cancelled for the rest of the season. Basically, along with the entire season, it's all gone. Everything's gone. It no longer exists.
I mean, it was bound to happen eventually.
They
They called pretty much all of it off.
Yeah, it was interesting how they closed the outside thingies before they closed the inside thingies, and then it kind of had to happen. It just wasn't really working, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, it was ambitious that they were trying to do a festival when all of the other theme parks are like, let's not do anything outside of normal operating things. It was ambitious of DLP to be like, no, we're still gonna have all these shows and it'll still be fine. Kind of like, lads, well, the shows end up being a bloody nightmare at the best of times. That
Which
alone
is
during the
really
pandemic.
weird for DLP. You think they would have taken this opportunity to be like, fuck, we don't need to do anything.
Just the classic DLP option, isn't it, really?
Exactly. I'm like so surprised that they've come out of this and been like, we'll do the most. Like, it's not DLP at all. It's really kind of worrying.
Yeah. But I mean, it's sad for the cast members that they'd cancelled and then brought back and then cancelled again. So
yeah, and the other thing is I heard that Rhythm of the Pride Lands was a lot better this year from cast who had gone to see it and were putting it up on Instagram and Twitter and stuff. They were like, if you saw Rhythm of the Pride Lands last year, it's absolutely nothing compared to this year, kind of.
oh wow.
Yeah. So that's also kind of sad because obviously the cast and stuff within the show obviously put a lot of work into it. And, now it's gone.
Sad times.
But I mean, COVID, the arts, they seem to just be not a thing anymore. So
Seems to just be going hand in hand.
I think it's crazy that they're starting to like sell tickets to musicals next year. And you're like Back to the Future just went on sale.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I really want to see it because it's meant to be incredible. But on the one hand, is it going to be on like April? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's like kind of, you don't really know, do you?
Yeah, I assume they're selling like bunches of tickets. Like they're not kind of packing out the place, I would assume. But even still, like,
oh, are they like the full theatre?
Yeah, because I almost bought tickets and then I could literally pick any seat in the theatre and I was like, no.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, shit, that's not good.
Because in my head, I was like, oh, maybe they're doing like what cinema's doing. Like the Lighthouse Cinema in Dublin, they have this thing at the moment. So the row in front of you, the row behind you, and every 2 seats beside you are all blocked off. So like one of their small cinema screens now only takes 10 people and then it's sold out. So like I was like, oh, maybe they're doing it like that. But Jesus, if they're going to pack you all in.
I think they're just thinking that's it. Like 2021 is when coronavirus is just gone.
Ends. Bye-bye.
Which would be lovely.
I mean, people seem to think it's gonna just disappear before Christmas, so who knows?
But yeah, no, it is a bit weird how the arts of all things have taken like the biggest dip when it comes to COVID. They're like, oh, cinemas can reopen and churches can reopen, but the arts, absolutely not.
Yeah, it's a shame because there's so many more things ready to go with the arts than there are films at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
And films, like they can literally make money any other way.
Yeah.
Mulan, for instance.
Oh, can it? Anyway, moving on.
So moving on. So it was announced during the week that all London to Disneyland Paris direct Eurostar trains have been cancelled / removed from sale until October 23rd. Now you can still get the Eurostar from London to Lille and then transfer to DLP, but you cannot get a direct train, which is rather interesting. Now, I mean, this doesn't affect us because we couldn't get the train anyways, but
no, that's on our island. But yeah, I don't know. Have you ever gone the Eurostar to DLP, Ryan?
Yeah, I've gone a few times.
Is it a pleasurable experience?
I mean, it's as pleasurable as a train can be. It's.
Do you prefer it over flying though?
Well, I've never flown to Disneyland Paris.
Oh,
so
okay.
I either will get on the train or we will. Either way, get on the train. But one, you kind of get the Eurostar, and the other is the Eurotunnel with a car.
Oh, right, fair.
But then you have to drive from Calais to Disneyland, which is a few hours. But the train's great, to be fair. Like, it's a train, so it's got its drawbacks. But once you're there, you literally get out of Disneyland, so it's great.
With this, as the only person currently on this call who could actually avail of this service, would the fact that you have to transfer from Lille deter you? And taking away the fact that like you can't go over because of your rules and everything, but would it deter you, or would you be like, oh, I don't care?
It's not too bad of a change, to be fair. It's no, I'd still do it, but if coronavirus wasn't here.
Yeah, it's taking that out of the equation.
Yeah, no, it's easy enough to change it little.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting. I'd say they're just kind of like, no. I'd say the whole like rule thing with the UK and stuff, they're like, it's just not worth it for us anymore.
Yeah, probably not.
We don't even know what the rules are. They seem to be changing on an hourly basis.
Well, again, I've nothing to say to you about that.
I'm not going to defend. Throughout this whole show, I'm not going to defend the UK once.
Okay, good, because neither are we.
I'm on your side. Like I'd move to Ireland tomorrow if I could.
I heard you said you're trying to move. Come here.
You've got pumpkin spice lattes. I mean, that's all I need.
Right, there you go.
There we go.
And fancy crisps or whatever.
Exactly.
Crisps. Excellent.
Banshee bones.
Then in the DLP news, the opening of the Disney Junior Dream Factory attraction is also delayed until further notice. So the out-of-date characters that are going to be in the out-of-date attraction will already be more out-of-date by the time it opens.
Hey, no, you leave Fancy Nancy alone.
Hey, Fancy Nancy's great. She's so cute. She's with a little tutu.
She needs to colour coordinate a bit better. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, no, she does not. She is the splash of colour that Disney Junior deserves.
See, Piper's not of the age where we're into Disney Junior yet, but I have a feeling in a couple of years this will be like the #1 show at Disneyland Paris for us.
Fancy Nancy.
Oh no! I mean, what's this called again?
Oh, the Disney Junior Dream Factory.
Dream Factory, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But Fancy Nancy will probably still be there. Because for whatever reason, Disney can't seem to kind of keep up to date with the kind of in characters on Disney Junior.
I mean, to be fair,
they're always a couple of years behind.
Simone's there, so count me in.
Fair.
But like even saying that, like even in the store, like they couldn't keep up with their own shows. Like it would take a year of a show being out before they had any form of merchandise for it, which is crazy because fucking 4-year-olds love toys.
Is Disney merchandise in Ireland as bad as it is in the UK?
It's the same merchandise.
It's the same.
It's terrible.
Yeah, pretty much.
We only have 2 stores. So
it's terrible for adults.
Availability-wise, it's much worse.
Yeah. You can go to the big store or you can go to the smaller store 45 minutes away that just has less of the same shit.
But to be fair, I think my closest store is London, and that's like 90 minutes on a train.
Yeah, fair. But Disney's having that whole problem in the UK where they're closing all their cute stores and then opening pop-ups 10 minutes down the road and then keeping those pop-ups open for 2 years and then closing those, and it's all the time really.
I mean, all they need to do is copy the US Shop Disney website and put it in the UK, and problem solved.
If only they actually listened to the fucking weirdos who want to give them tens of thousands of fucking money to just buy their shit. But they're like, no, you can have this doormat.
Yeah. You get this.
You
can have a Spirit jersey. In fact, we'll give you 4 Spirit jerseys. How about that?
Only 2 of which are currently available. Hey. God, I fucking hate Shop Disney so much.
It is so shit.
Anywho.
Sure.
Oh yeah, go on.
So, yeah. We may as well talk about the fact that the next Halloween drop on Shop Disney is supposedly in the morning. Who knows what's going to get released? They've said the Nightmare for Christmas drop is tomorrow. So I don't know if that means they'll have general Halloween stuff or it's just Nightmare for Christmas.
Tomorrow. Ooh, interesting. Well, I mean, between the last drop and today, they've just been secretly sprinkling dusts of Halloween onto the website, not telling anybody, and then being like, "What sauce?"
Yeah. So this week they've dropped this year's version of the little Loungefly pumpkin bag, which is not anywhere as cute as last year's.
I hate it
at all, and that sold out in about 5 minutes. And then they've added like little candle holders,
the little tea light
and then they
holders.
added the like big like candy jar thing, pumpkin thing, and they've both sold out as well. But they just keep adding like bits here and there rather than doing the logical thing and just dropping everything all at once.
Those t-shirts, they dropped those t-shirts as well.
Oh yeah, the Boo Crew ones.
Oh yeah, which to be honest, I think would be quite cute if you were, going to the park as a family. But right now, you shouldn't be going to the park as a family. So
Yeah.
I just hate them. I hate them all. I hate everyone who works for Shop Disney UK. They don't care. They're either shit at their job or don't care about their job. They don't buy enough servers for capacity, and it's just, they don't do anything about bots, and I just hate them. I hate everything.
It's someone in the US team needs to be throttled to the point where they allow merchandise to be shipped to the UK, and then the problem will be solved.
Yeah, that's it. I just don't understand why they just don't offer worldwide shipping. Surely it's not that hard.
They do, don't they? It's just astronomically expensive. It's like $75.
Yeah, and there's some stuff like I wanted to buy an Epcot poster because obviously Epcot, and they wouldn't ship it because it was framed.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So I would have even paid them money, and they still wouldn't do it.
I would have paid you good money.
Yeah. I'm literally throwing money at you, Mickey.
But still, look.
You think Bob Chapek would have fixed it by now? He bloody loves money.
Well, the thing is, he would make, I think, millions of dollars if they sold the exact same merchandise in the Shop Disney UK site than they did in the US. They, literally overnight, he'd start making thousands of dollars.
Oh,
Yeah,
easily.
big time.
Easily, million. I'd go, like, if you have the stock, millions.
Yeah, I just don't. I've never understood why they've not done it. Because it's not a case of, oh, we can't make that much, because of course you can. And especially right now, when sales in Disneyland, they're non-existent because it's not open.
Yeah.
Especially with, like, the amount of crap that ends up in, like, the outlets. Like,
Yeah, just chuck it on the website.
Exactly.
I just sometimes wish they'd hire us. Just
They
for, like,
did,
a
Paige.
week. No!
They did for a little while.
A little while. 4 years was a really long time. Let's not talk about it. Anyway, moving back to DLP.
So there's been some additional foliage added to the Olaf selfie spot, where there's now a group of leaves between you and Olaf, and there's a little green square that you can stand on. It's so ridiculous looking, but again, classic DLP.
It's literally like they like walked into a warehouse and were like, what is there?
Leaves, great.
Do you know where they probably were? Do you know in Crush's Coaster where they had all those pallets in the middle of the ride?
Oh yeah, lovely.
They were probably just scattered around there, and then they just sweep them all up into a big pile, and we're like, there you go, Olaf. There's a nice social distancing marker for you.
You're never going to be over those pallets in Crush's Coaster, are you?
Just why the fuck were there pallets of shit in the middle of a roller coaster? I hate it.
Because it's DLP.
Yeah, I know, it's true.
I mean, when is it going to reach the point where people on Twitter and Instagram have stopped loving taking social distance pictures with characters, and then there's just going to be no one visiting these characters because you can't interact with them?
Yeah.
Honestly, with Disneyland Paris, I don't think that will happen because people bloody love characters in DLP.
Yeah, and a lot of the cast members love the characters in DLP.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of cast members are going on their days off because they live just off-site, and they're just going and taking all these socially distanced photos because they can pop in for, like, an hour or two and just drink their pumpkin spice lattes and then get a picture with Olaf, and then they can go home again.
Such a low blow.
Sorry.
Like, totally uncalled for. Like, at least warn me. Just say, oh, they might pop to Starbucks on the way. At least I know it's coming.
It was just so open.
Dear.
Honestly, like I have that like a hashtag on Twitter, like constantly being refreshed. I'm on the Starbucks app, just like constantly refreshing it for news. Nothing.
But think how much great it'll be when you get it then.
Yeah, better bloody be.
Anyways.
Yeah, and then there's also been a new magic shot as well near Tower of Terror with this bellhop guy who looks like he looks like a character from like Cluedo or something. I just don't understand who he is or anything to do
Have you
with
seen
him.
this, Ryan?
No, I've not seen it.
Oh, here, I'll hold it up for you. Can you see?
Wow. It's like I'm playing Tower of Terror The Sims.
Yeah, with his little moustache.
So, this is their new magic shot. Like the Tinkerbell one, I get. The Stitch one, like I get the ones that have actual characters. But this just being like a random bellhop just sitting beside you on a bench.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't get it.
Even Bellhop Goofy would have made more sense because he's a thing.
Exactly. Or Bellhop Stitch.
Yeah, any Disney character apart from
Mr. Moustache.
some British-looking guy from the days of the British Empire.
Oh, do you know what? That's bang on as well.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's
that's
just
why.
a bit-
Maybe he's stuck in France and the only job he could get was working at the Hollywood
Tower.
Hotel.
Yeah, they close the borders to the UK. It's all he can do.
Shit, this is me. I'll sit on this bench.
Come take a photo with me.
Ridiculous.
Please, I need the money. I need to go home. Oh,
Good times. You
This
can always
poor
you can
man.
always rely on DLP to come up with a really bizarre thing. It's like, oh yes, we finally got magic shots, and it's like, but we're going to take them that one step too far to something that no one ever asked for or ever wanted.
I just feel like how many people had to say yes to this before it was a thing?
Not enough.
No one. They're all on furlough.
Oh, fair.
Also very true.
Someone drew it and was like, go, 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 go.
What?
Oh dear. Right. And then one last thing from DLP. There's been some changes to the Agrabah Cafe restaurant. So it used to be a buffet as far as I'm aware. And now it's doing what most of the restaurants are doing where you could just pick a plate. So it's $35.99 for adults. That includes a cold drink and a mineral water. So for your starter, you can have an assortment of meze to share, which is good and vague. Then there is the Royal Couscous, which comes with chicken, something that I can't read, lamb and kofta balls. And then there is couscous from the sea, which has shrimp, mussels, cuttlefish, cod, and prawns. And then, or if you're vegetarian, you can have falafels with sesame sauce, semolina, and green beans in olive oil. Sounds truly delightful.
I mean, it's better than rice.
This is true. This is very true.
I mean,
And
it's
then for
still incredibly cheap ingredients, isn't it?
Well, that's most of GLP, I think.
And then for your dessert, you can have an equally vague assortment of Oriental pastries.
That's really lying on the edge of racist there, isn't it?
Oriental pastries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've not eaten an Agrabah Cafe. I've been told I probably should because I think it's one of the better places for vegetarians. But
Where's
by
it
the sense
basing
of that
its
menu,
food
I don't know if it is now.
Say that again?
Where's it basing its food on? Like, what country?
Acrobat. Please, Ryan, it's named the Acrobat Cafe restaurant.
Oh, yeah, of course, I forgot.
Stupid question. I assume
Like Moroccan style?
yeah,
that's what I
Moroccan.
thought. But like, why can you not get baklava as a dessert? Like, that should be the go-to dessert.
Is that not an Oriental pastry?
Well, I wouldn't call it. I don't know if I'd call Morocco Oriental.
Oh,
Well,
true.
DLP are going with it.
Well, they're like, it's not French, it's Oriental.
It's somewhere from that way.
Yeah, over there somewhere. Oh, jeepers.
Classic DLP.
Yeah, and then moving stateside. Oh, that's a Halloween thing, not a Christmas thing. There's been a bit of an announcement for the Christmas season. So Walt Disney World has announced that there will be socially distanced festivities for 2020, but also that there will be a couple of things definitely not happening, which I can't find. Oh yeah, so Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party and the Candlelight Processional Epcot will not happen at all. And then basically everything else is just going to be socially distanced. All right, Binks.
Sorry. She's decided to take over. Have you ever done the candlelight processional, Ryan? I know you're king of Epcot.
It starts like super late. So even when I've been in, so usually I try and go to Orlando at the end of Halloween and then into Christmas. But the processional doesn't start until late November, which is surprising really because Disney and Christmas. But Epcot starts a little bit later than Magic Kingdom. So I've never done it. But Mickey's Very Merry Christmas is pretty average.
Do you prefer Very Merry or Not So Scary?
Not so scary for sure, but I mean, once you've been to Halloween Horror Nights, Not So Scary is terrible in comparison. In the fact that it doesn't change year by year, and it's double the price of Halloween Horror Nights.
I'd pay double to not have to go to Halloween.
Oh.
But I think, like, for the money you pay, they should definitely mix it up year on year.
Yeah, agreed. Even if they swapped out like characters and stuff, because I get that they don't want to necessarily have to like change the show or whatever, but like they could definitely tweak things year on year rather than it being the exact same.
Oh, Booty
every
You
time.
is the best parade that Disney's done, in my
Love
opinion.
it. Absolutely love it. That song just gets like stuck in your head and just loops for years on end.
Yeah, it's an incredible parade, and I hope that never goes away. But the rest of the event, it doesn't. It's okay, but it's not. In my opinion, it's not worth like $120+.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's sad that I mean, it's not surprising, but it's sad that like everything is now cancelled for the year. I don't think anybody thought Very Merry was necessarily going to go ahead though.
Yeah, so I like that like their explanation is the guests will be able to enjoy festive decor, themed merchandise, and seasonal food and beverage offerings. As in like that's what we got for you at Christmas. There will also be holiday magic at Disney Springs, and Santa Claus will make time for special pop-up appearances at every location, waving and exclaiming holiday wishes to all.
Shouting Merry Christmas at people that walk past, whether you like it or not.
The cavalcades will also feature gingerbread men, elves, and reindeer. Also, the beloved toy soldiers will join the Main Street Philharmonic as they march through Magic Kingdom Park, bringing musical and holiday cheer for all to hear.
Didn't they just rob that from Elf?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's not you guys. And then Minnie Mouse will also be holding a Yuletide gathering for all of her friends at Hollywood and Vine at Disney's Hollywood Studios, starting on November 6th with Santa Goofy, along with Minnie, and more in their holiday best, not of their holiday best. I was like, what?
I do love Santa Goof.
Yeah, Minnie and her friends in their Christmas gear, basically.
Nice. So it's basically the Christmas equivalent of what they're doing for Halloween.
Yeah, at least they're like putting up the decorations.
Oh, I think annual pass holders would have even more of a thing to say this year if the Christmas decorations weren't up.
Yeah. Like that girl that was crying going into Magic Kingdom because there wasn't any Halloween decorations. Don't get me wrong, I can't talk, I'm obsessed with Halloween, but like I wouldn't go crying into Magic Kingdom because they hadn't got Halloween decorations.
Seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot going on in the world, and like I'll buy you a pumpkin. Like really what you like, come on.
Oh, bless her.
I hope they bring back eggnog for the Christmas stuff at Magic Kingdom because that stuff is delicious.
I've never had eggnog.
No, me neither. I feel like it's not a thing over here.
It should be alcoholic, but obviously in Magic Kingdom, they haven't quite made it yet. They will do, I think, because when the world returns to normal, they're going to want to make more money. So how easily to do that? Well, introduce $15 cocktails in Magic Kingdom. Job done.
They just need to do what DLP do and just have a little cart that they wheel out just before the fireworks and sell everybody really expensive glasses of champagne. It's genius.
Yeah, genius.
With a man who's like, champagne. Champagne.
Yeah, he was very aggressive.
Champagne? As I say, please no. I barely want to watch the fireworks, let alone drink champagne. Actually, maybe that'll make it better.
Yeah, they're just trying to get you through it.
Maybe that's why. Oh my god, maybe that's why they're selling champagne, because they know how shit Illuminations is, and they're like, get the champagne into them. They'll love it so much more.
I think people are literally on TripAdvisor at the end of the day, and they're like, shit, just roll out the champagne.
Oh, poor DLP. It gets so much shit.
Oh, dear.
It just annoys me that they took the Illuminations.
In fairness, it's for...
The Illuminations name. I mean, Epcot is Illuminations. And then you take the name of one of Disney's best shows of all time, and you take a shit and then put it in another park.
It's just
so bad.
It's so sad because it kind of feels like most other parks kind of get an upgrade when they got new fireworks. Then DLP went from having Dreams, which was amazing, to this piece of shit.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll get new ones for the 30th. We can only hope.
I just want them so bad.
I know.
I personally believe it's what we deserve, but anyway.
Don't bank on Mr. Chapek spending any money.
True. Even if they just took out the live action Beauty and the Beast bit, I actually don't think the rest of it's as bad.
No, it just puts such a fucking downer on it. But you can feel the crowd. The crowd's like, who the fuck's this?
I know. You have to listen to Emma Watson singing. Ugh.
They just have their 6-year-old girls that just want to sing Let It Go in French.
We are those 6-year-old girls.
in 27 languages.
There you go. Right, moving over to Disneyland. So the Disneyland Resort is turning 65 this year, and they released a whole load of real cute Funko Pops to celebrate it. So last week there was I think we mentioned it on last week's one, there was the castle that came with either a Mickey Mouse Funko Pop or a Walt holding a little Mickey Mouse Funko Pop. I think they're both like $400 now. Great. But they've released since you can get a Peter Pan who's sitting in a Peter Pan's flight, like little boat. You can get a Minnie Mouse sitting in a Dumbo, and you can get a Mr. Toad sitting in the ride vehicle from Mr. Toad's ride. And they're all bloody adorable, but I think they're all probably sold out and extortionate money is on eBay now.
They are all sold out.
Ding. Yeah.
They are cool though.
They're super cute though. The Mr. Toad, I'm not even a big fan of Mr. Toad, but holy Jesus, that Mr. Toad Funko Pop is the cutest thing I may have ever seen in my entire life.
He just looks so happy.
His little face. Look
Like,
at him.
yeah.
Kind of reminds me of
So,
my kid.
yeah, they were super duper cute. Love them.
Reminds you of what?
Of my kid. It's very similar.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Get her on Mr. Troll's Wild Ride and that's it. Funko made.
I don't think I need to sue Disney for that.
Brilliant. So yeah, very cute pops.
Then heading over to Walt Disney World. There's been some more dining options coming to Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios for the fall. Specifically, Minnie's Halloween thingy-mabobber that I can't remember the name of. Oh no, here it is. Minnie's Halloween Dine Feast, which is in Hollywood Studios. And starts from September 15th to 25th and lasts until October 31st. Including, oh, you haven't got up there yet. So including some extra fall entertainment for Disney World is the Halloween Cavalcades in Magic Kingdom, the Cadaver Dance. Oh, who doesn't love the Cadaver Dance? Yeah, and then Minnie's Halloween Dine-In Feast, which is then a character meal that's not a character meal.
Yeah, you just throw food at them from afar.
You mean Minnie throws the food?
What? I mean, to be fair, that'd be quite cool, wouldn't it?
I mean, it is called a feast.
Yeah. Just, oi, Minnie, throw us another chicken wing.
Jesus Christ.
They may as well do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Just lob me like a ladle of mash. Just.
Throw it in a row. Yeah. I mean, it could work. I don't know, like, do they just, like, clear, like, a runway in the middle of, like, all the tables where people can just, like, turn and take selfies? Like, is that the whole point? Or
I don't know if she's on, like,
I don't
do you know when you meet the characters in the hotels in DLP and they're on, like, those little stages?
no?
Okay. In Santa Fe and Cheyenne in
Oh,
DLP,
yes, I know what you're talking about now.
they've got those little stages with those shitty backgrounds where you can meet the characters in the morning and in the afternoons. Or maybe
Yeah.
they'll, like, put her on one of those in, like, the corner and you can just, like, see her from a distance.
Just leave her sitting in the corner.
While you're shoving food into your child's mouth for, like, the $65 you paid for your meal, you can just see Minnie, like, waving in the corner being like, save me.
Oh, Jesus.
Just laughing in the inside like you paid $65 for this.
You can't even hug me.
And I don't think it's still a buffet either, is it?
No, I assume not. Well, I know a feast. A feast makes me feel like Ohana vibes, where they just bring you a fuck ton of food, and then if you want more, they bring you another fuck ton of food.
Fair.
That's what
Very
feast says to me,
eloquent
anyway. Yeah, you know what? If eloquence isn't my middle name.
To be fair, I much prefer that style of buffet than having to go up and watch someone in front of me take an entire like lobster or whatever.
Or an entire fillet of salmon.
Yeah.
Someone we know.
Or an entire fillet of salmon.
Good man, Craig.
Well, to be fair, Sinead's the person who goes up and takes all the scrambled eggs. And it's like, bye.
That DLP scrambled egg, like, it's bloody beautiful. It has no right to be as nice as it is.
If you get a chance to stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge, the scrambled egg in the morning, it's something special.
Ooh. I feel like this is what I need to do when I go to like other Disney parks. I just need to like rank the scrambled egg. Other people rank attractions, but I feel like I go on so much about the DLP scrambled egg. I feel like I need to do a rating system.
To be fair, I think it's better than what I've seen other people doing ranking toilets. So like you're a step above that.
I'll take it. I'll take it. All I can really aim for is to be a slight step above Craig. That's all I can really aim for.
Hey, isn't that what we all aim for in life?
As long as you're there, you're fine.
And then to hop back over to Disneyland. So there's still no opening date for the Disneyland Resort. So seemingly they are getting closer to agreeing on a date. I don't know. And I think they've just had approval that they can now allow some indoor seating in the restaurants in downtown Disney. I don't know. But all guest reservations through to the 26th of September have been cancelled. But they are now taking availability from October 1st and beyond. So it's looking like maybe the start of October, maybe. Who knows? They'll eventually reopen.
They're going to have to at some point.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just depends, doesn't it? I mean, COVID cases are going back up in the UK. If that happens in California, then they're going to shut again.
Yeah.
It'll be speaking to the country that's about to open all their pubs.
All our wet pubs, Kate.
Oh, sorry.
Our pubs are already open, and well, look at the cases. It's not gone well.
Yeah. So what they've done over here is, if you're a pub that could serve a substantial meal, so anything over the value of €9, seemingly, you could reopen. But if you were what they have now deemed a wet pub, which is the most horrific phrase in the entire world, they've still not been able to reopen.
Worse. Could be moist.
Yeah.
A moist pub. God.
Delightful. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Do you think they're going to do Haunted Mansion Holiday this year? This was the debate we had a few weeks ago.
No.
Ooh, spicy.
No, I mean, I don't think that bother. I mean, they've scrapped all of the additional stuff that you normally do in Disney World, like the gingerbread houses and stuff like that. So, I mean, they could do it. I mean, they could. There's no reason, because it's just the same props mostly as last year, right? But I don't know if they will. I don't think so.
It'll be interesting. They would have had to. It would basically need to be done now, anyways. And I would say the same will probably be the case for Cars Land and their little spoopy overlay that they've been getting the last few years. Yeah, but it is what it is. So I think that's everything parks wise.
Then moving on to outside of the parks, there's not much actually. It's only a little bit. Moving on to Disney Plus. Moving on to our favorite character of all time, Olaf. Everyone. Olaf is getting his own little short. Well, another short. He already has one. So the official tweet from Disney Plus UK says it all started with a little magic snowflake emoji. Once Upon a Snowman, an original short, is streaming October 23rd on #Disney Plus. I'm sick of Frozen shorts. I'm not gonna lie. And like, I love Olaf, but like, Jesus, there's enough of them.
I find him I thought he was okay in the first movie. In the second movie, I found him incredibly irritating.
I loved him in the second movie.
I thought I think it was his song. I thought his song was terrible.
Oh.
And sorry. It's the one I skip on the album every time.
No.
He screams super loud halfway.
I just turn it down at that bit. I know it's coming.
Kate's prepared.
Well, the thing is, the first time I listened to the album, I obviously listened to the entire album all the way through, and I was listening to it on the speaker in my kitchen, and then all of a sudden there was the screamy bit. I think my sister was like, "What in God's name are you listening to?" And I was like, "It's Olaf. It's just Olaf."
Yeah, it's a bit too intense for me, that song.
Yeah, a tiny bit. But yeah, Olaf's getting his own short. Well, again, I think it's like a second short now. Once Upon a Snowman. But that also sounds like an origin story. And we've already had Olaf's origin story.
Several times.
Yeah, a lot.
Well, he's like Spider-Man. You always need to give it a reboot.
It's true.
It must be his origin story because he doesn't have his nose in the picture.
Yeah, no,
Elsa
it's
gives him his nose.
definitely his origin story.
How many more origin stories could we have? We already know it's there. It's his tradition. They built him when he was younger. I can tell you Once Upon a Snowman now for free.
Well,
Don't even subscribe to Disney Plus.
maybe they've got rid of Josh Gad and like Christopher Walken's taken over or something. Now, that would be something.
Do you think it would make it better?
Yeah, yeah. I think Josh Gad's a little bit too intense for me. You can't be that excited about everything all the time.
But he's American.
Yeah, that is true. You've got me there.
We're just too cynical over this side of the world. That's the downside. But speaking of too much Josh Gad, Disney have announced a new documentary series in conjunction with National Geographic called The Magic of Disney's Animal Kingdom, which is a series coming to Disney Plus on September 25th, which is also voiced by Josh Gad.
I think that show sounds incredible. But he's not got a voice for a narration role, has he?
No, as we figured out from fucking Artemis Fowl.
Yeah, it's you need a calming voice for a narrator. You need a calming voice.
It reminded me of Artemis Fowl. Christ almighty.
I've not bothered to watch it.
Don't. With the limited amount of time you currently have, I urge you not to watch Artemis Fowl.
It's nowhere near the bottom of my list, so don't worry.
Yeah. Oh Christ.
What an abomination.
But yeah, I watched the trailer for the series and it looks really, really good. But it's I'm so sick of having to listen to bloody Josh Gad. He has such an irritating voice.
Just mute it and put the subtitles on.
Oh, well, there is that. I don't think he's narrating the whole thing. I think he's just kind of like the overall like presenter of it, and then it goes to actual like cast members from Animal Kingdom. But
okay, I'll definitely watch it.
Oh, yeah.
I love learning stuff about Disney. It's all so interesting.
Yeah,
we've been spoiled with the Imagineering story, and
I think, big time.
Yeah, hopefully this is. It won't be as good, but hopefully it's at least insightful. I love Animal Kingdom. I've definitely grown to love it more as I've got older.
Yeah, I really liked Animal Kingdom when I went. I wasn't sure if I would as much because I suppose in my mind before I went, I knew feck all. So I was like, oh, is it just like a big zoo? Which to a degree it kind of is, but also obviously has the attractions as well. And I fell a little bit in love with Everest, which I definitely didn't think I would.
Yeah, it's great.
But it's great.
Joe Rody, what a man. What a man.
Okay.
To be fair, he's like, wow, to be fair, like.
Just wow.
Just wow.
He is.
I mean, a man that can pull off that volume of earrings deserves a round of applause.
Not just that, but get away with that at the Walt Disney Company.
Yeah, and they're like,
this is very true, actually.
I mean, how's that happened? I mean, he must be something really special.
This is the company that doesn't let you wear a ring unless it's religious.
Yeah.
Well, you can only wear one. You can wear one like decorative ring, but you can't wear two.
Yeah.
Unless it's a wedding ring.
Oh, Disney.
You can't have your nails painted. What a time. No. But anyways.
You can do whatever you want if you're Joe.
Exactly.
Well, I think when you've done enough for the company to make them that much money, I feel like they don't really have a leg to stand on.
Coke walks in, he's like, Joe, what's going on here? And he's like, get out.
See this project? Shredder. You ready for it? Yeah. I thought so.
Exactly. The only thing we didn't put on the actual news, but I suppose kind of bears speaking about, is the reaction that's been online to Mulan. Now, I haven't watched it. I don't think any of us have watched it. Ryan, have you watched it?
No, I want to, but time.
Fair.
Yes.
Fair. I don't think I'm going to pay the €22 to watch it, purely because I don't like the live actions anyways. So I'll happily wait until December 4th to watch it. But a fair few people have, and I've heard I've heard mostly positive things. And then Amy, who's been on the podcast before, was like, absolutely shite, don't waste your time.
And I'm like, right, that's good enough reason for me not to watch it. Thanks.
But yeah,
No.
there's been mixed reactions.
I definitely won't be paying the €22 knowing for a fact that it comes out on the 4th of December. Like, I just won't be. I don't need to watch it that badly. I'll wait. And even at that, I don't even know if... See, the only reason I'll watch it then is because I'm already paying for Disney Plus, and like it's there anyway, but I don't want to contribute any more money to that movie because I don't really agree with it.
That's fair.
From like everything they did. The whole movie seems wrong. Like, they tried to promote a specific thing but didn't have any of that thing in the movie, and it just seems like an absolute fucking clusterfuck.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, the good news is it's probably not making a profit, so...
Yeah. But it's okay, because they can blame that on COVID and Premier Access, and no, it wasn't bad because the lead actress supports police brutality. It was bad because it had to go on Premier Access. No, don't be silly.
Which is bad news for the future of Premier Access.
But that's good. I don't want
that. Oh, no, I don't know. I'd pay £20 to watch Black Widow.
See, I don't know. I don't know. It's a big debate, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it very much depends how much of like a cinema goer you are.
See,
do you know what I mean?
cinema.
Like, Kate, you're an avid cinema goer.
Yeah.
I used to be until I had a kid. So now I'm like, oh, I can watch a Marvel movie in the evening and not have to get a babysitter, all that kind of nonsense. So it would be handy for me to have the option.
Yeah.
True.
Otherwise, like I totally would see almost every Star Wars, Marvel, maybe not every live action Disney movie in the cinema before, but like now for at least the next few years, that gets trickier. That's the only reason where I'm like, well, actually, I'd be paying like £50 to go and see this at a cinema, all in popcorn, all that kind of crap.
Yeah.
I'll pay £20 to watch it at home.
True.
See, it's hard because I'm like, I really don't want to watch Mulan, so my complete stance on Premier Access is it's shit, because the only thing I can currently buy with Premier Access is Mulan. Yeah. But I do wonder if a movie that I actually did want to watch came up, if I would pay for it, like Black Widow.
Yeah.
Which is meant to be delayed again until next year by the looks of it.
I'm just so starved for a good movie. Like, Tenet really just ruined me. I was like, I'm so excited for a new movie. Go to the cinema. Nonsense. No, it's not going to be a new movie for so long.
You weren't a fan then, no?
It made no sense. The whole movie made no sense. The only good part was Robert Pattinson. And that's saying something.
That's the thing. I think probably Nolan's got a bit too clever for himself, and no one in the studio says no to him anymore. He's like George Lucas during the prequel trilogy.
It's like, do what you want, go for it. But George, I said... But George, that doesn't make any sense with the timeline. I don't care. That's basically what Tenet was.
Perfect. Right, now we get to interrogate Ryan. Fun times.
So... Let me just get out my paper.
I'm ready. I don't know what I'm ready for, but I'm ready.
So Ryan, tell us about your relationship with Disney.
Okay, that's a good question. I guess
easy question.
It goes back to my first memory, which was sitting on Main Street in the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World, drinking out of a chocolate Nesquik carton, like an old cardboard box carton. So weirdly, they went from being super environmentally friendly to then saying plastic. Go figure.
Of course.
So I remember, and there's a picture that sits on at my parents' house of me drinking that milkshake that I can just look at it, go back to, and remember just sitting in Main Street. And always, it was outside Casey's Corner on the kind of tables that sit around there. And whenever I walk past, it kind of reminds me of that. So that's my kind of first theme park Disney memory. My first non-theme park memory was probably sitting down and watching Toy Story at the cinema.
Wow.
So, you were very young, because we're the same age, so you went to the cinema very young.
Yeah, wait, I'm sure it's Toy Story. Yeah.
Fair.
Definitely, no, I definitely saw Toy Story at the cinema, 100%. I have more vivid memories of A Bug's Life, which is why it's my favourite Pixar film.
Ooh, good shout.
Very, very rare do you encounter someone that agrees with me. But
It's a very underloved movie.
yeah, but that's the movie where I was quite into Disney, and I remember sitting down with my best friend at the time and my parents and watching A Bug's Life, and that's why it kind of the same reason I like the Star Wars prequel trilogy, because they were released when I was a kid and I liked Star Wars before, and the same reason why lots of kids like the new Star Wars trilogy and a lot of people our age don't, I think, because they're not always aimed at us. But yeah, my first memory, and also Epcot, I've got to mention Spaceship Earth. I remember walking to Epcot for the very first time and looking up and just seeing this giant, what we used to call the golf ball before, obviously, I started podcasting and couldn't get away with saying that anymore. So yeah, I remember always being in love with technology as a kid, always having the latest video game, always having the latest bit of tech, and Epcot, before it kind of degraded a little bit to where it's at now, was always very much demonstrating that. It was definitely kind of that World's Fair in Future World. It always had some latest tech that you could go and play with in Inventions. It always had like the latest video game consoles that you can go and test out. Certainly in the kind of mid to late 90s when I started going. So yeah,
That's a really cute first theme park memory, and it's so like vivid as well.
Yeah.
It is weird. I can remember see the shorts I was wearing, and I must have only been 3,
Wow.
but like the rest of my childhood, I remember nothing.
I was like, that's really impressive that you have a memory from 3. I barely have memory from yesterday.
Oh no, I'm with you 100%. Like it's literally Toy Story pops in, the carton of Nesquik, Spaceship Earth. That's it.
And then yesterday, that's all I got.
They're real cute first memories. So how did you end up getting into podcasting? I know we kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier where people were just telling you to shut up, but...
Yeah, so Dan and I started chatting about pins, and so we've known each other for about 11 years now, and we used to work together at the same company. We realized that we were both going to Disney World every year, or at least every year, sometimes twice, sometimes every other year. And we both like video games, so we just got chatting, became friends, and we decided to create Theme Park Trader. And it is still something that we're building behind the scenes, but it is going to be a platform where people can list items and trade with other people, and we were like, well, that's cool, but we need something to get our brand out there and kind of start talking about it a bit. So that's why we decided to create the podcast. And you'll hear it, the very first podcast. And please, I know I say this every time, but please don't go and listen to it because it's shit. But it's basically me.
Guess what I'm listening on my way to work tomorrow.
Yeah, it's basically it's me by myself for the first one going, welcome to Trader, and this week we're talking about the Flower and Garden Festival and what's going on. And it's like, why have I not just deleted it? I don't know.
Oh, definitely got to put that in the show notes.
Yeah.
That one particular episode.
It started just covering news every week, and then the more we were doing it, the more we thought, well, we like ripping the piss out of things. So I kind of came up with the idea of the poor reviews stuff, where we just read out people's idiotic opinions of theme park stuff, and then now we basically just do whatever we want. And often I literally come up with the idea for the show 2 minutes before we record, and we wing it.
It never comes across that way, so fair play.
I think we're fortunate that before COVID we record it face to face. We're always talking about the parks. We always know what's going on. You know, yeah. I write for Inside the Magic. Like I have, I think at least 16, 17 other people in a group chat constantly talking about news and rumors, like coming in constantly. So it's something that we're both kind of aware of what's going on anyway. But yeah, we definitely wing a lot of the subjects, or we pick a subject and just run with it as long as we think it's possible. Like the tournament thing that we're doing at the moment.
Which I have to say, I'm bloody loving.
It's so much fun because we just get to talk about attractions and I think there will be a stage where we have a bit of a fight about something, but I'm not quite sure when that will be.
I mean, it didn't happen with Epcot, which is where have you done you have done Epcot, haven't you?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And I mean, I felt like if it was going to happen, it would have been there.
Well, Dan's never going to win an argument against me with Epcot. It's never going to happen.
True. He knows his boundaries.
Yep.
That's fair. What part do you think will be the hardest to like pin down an attraction?
I think it will. That's a good question. Maybe I think Animal Kingdom, because I know that we have differing opinions on what is the best attraction there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that'll be a battle royale.
It will be. I think we'll have quite an argument on that one.
Oh damn!
Like,
will Donna have to come in and be an adjudicator then?
Oh yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, because I know she'll agree with me, so that'll work.
There's also, sorry, while we're here, there is also no way you're not seeing those keywords before you start recording, and I just don't believe it. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh, seriously? I honestly, because we it started as something that I did in Customer is Always Weird, and then Donna thought, oh, maybe you could do this on theme park trailers. So she did it and wrote them all down in a notebook first of all, and then obviously that was put under question by Dan because it's a notebook and I could have looked. I didn't. So she then did it on her phone, which I don't look at. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I've just been lucky the last couple of weeks.
Nonsense. I always feel so bad for her as well when you get it in the first one and she's like, well, the rest of them were.
Yeah, but she spends a lot of time on those as well.
You can hear it. You can hear her be like, well, the other ones were if you hadn't have guessed it.
Yeah.
I feel like even if you do know it, you should at least get her to like the first four.
But then I'm risking Dan beating me, and that's not happening.
We love keyword countdown. We were doing them when we doing our Zoom quizzes over like big lockdown.
Big lockdown,
because now it's like sort of like not really lockdown. I'm talking about like big lockdown.
Now we're on mini lockdown.
Yeah. I was putting keyword countdown into the quiz and people loved it. Keyword countdown is great. It's so simple but so fun to do.
Yeah,
people were getting so annoyed by it though, like in a good way. Like, oh my god, how did I miss it?
Yeah. Like, really, IMDb should just put out a board game because it would sell so much.
Yeah, 100%. That's very true. But to be fair though, when I was doing it, I was picking like the stupidest ones.
Oh yeah, I often do that just to piss Dan and Stu off, and Customer is Always Weird.
I mean, you kind of have to troll people. Speaking of trolling people, I'm going to throw out a subject here, which I feel like may end up in an absolute scrap. So Ryan, you hate Hamilton, eh?
Yeah.
It's going to get real sad.
You're wrong. This was the end of the conversation.
I just couldn't get on board with it. I didn't get it.
What, you don't like fun or ingenuity or the arts or nothing? Diversity?
I don't like, no. I might like diversity is okay. I don't know what it was. I just couldn't get on board with it. And I do need to give it another chance because both Donna and I were watching it and we got half hour in and we were like, this is fucking terrible. And I think it's because maybe we hadn't had the chance to see it on stage, and I don't think it translates as well the first time seeing it ever on Disney Plus. We didn't have subtitles on as well, which I think didn't help because it is very difficult to understand, and that's probably because we're white middle class people who are idiots. Like I want to give it a chance of subtitles because I think. For me, like I don't like that type of music anyway, and I did want to understand a bit more about the lyrics and what they were saying. I think Jonathan Groff was incredible, but
correct answer.
Always is.
Yeah, exactly. But for me, I'm not a big fan of Mr. Lin. I think anyone that creates a musical and puts themselves in it.
But that's the whole reason why he did it.
Well, that's concerning, isn't it? For me, like. No, I've got problems with that.
Well, he had problems with the whole fucking whole musical industry, and that's why he did it.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like he could have hired anyone else to do it, and he could have just directed it.
No, because he.
I'm really enjoying this like complete scrap that's going on. I just get to sit here and laugh. It's great.
Yeah, no, I just, yeah, I think you've got to be an interesting character to put yourself into something you've written.
But that's why he wrote it. He wrote it because, like, I want to be in a play. No one's going to put me in a play, so I'll write a play for myself, and I'll write a play and I'll star myself in it. But he says himself he's not a very good dancer, hence why he doesn't dance very much.
Yeah, I guess I've just not forgiven him for Mary Poppins.
Oh, but like that was such a gag. Like,
just hire someone British. I mean, for God's sake, Disney.
In fairness, though,
come on.
they had to go along the Dick Van Dyke route.
Well,
of
then
someone
hire
with a
someone
painful
British.
accent.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I think I need to give it another chance. In all fairness, I wasn't a fan the first time round. I'm not. I don't get that it's a worldwide fascination, but I do understand how important it has been for the overall kind of musical arts and how it's transformed the way that people are being hired and how that's become a lot more diverse. And for that, like, I could completely commend him because it did. I completely agree. It needed to have a bit of a shake up, and it's great that more of this is happening. But for me, the first time round, I didn't connect with the show. But then I don't necessarily think it's aimed at me. So I will give it another chance at some point.
Did you watch the entire thing, or did you guys just get halfway through, or half an hour through and stop?
Yeah, we stopped halfway
See,
through.
the problem is you haven't seen the best bits.
Probably not, to be fair. But the thing is, we just had no clue what was going on.
It's a movie. It's a musical about Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah, we got that.
Who's a founding father.
Yeah, I got that bit. I know who
well,
Hamilton is.
That's all you need to know. That's
But
what it's about.
I wanted to know what they were singing about.
Him.
Would recommend subtitles.
The first song is about him. It's called Alexander Hamilton.
I got that.
Well, okay, so all I'm hearing is, yeah, I got that, and I got this, and I got that, and yet here we are. I didn't get it. A lot of contradicting statements here. I'm not going to lie.
All of that I got from the title of the musical. It is. I completely agree that my opinion can go so far if I haven't seen the entire musical.
I just think the second act is really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
And because because obviously I couldn't see Hamilton because the only way to see it before it, like, obviously it was on Broadway and then it was in the West End, but I still couldn't go see it in the West End because it's so far away and so expensive. And so the only way I had to get access to Hamilton was listening to the soundtrack. And by listening to the soundtrack on Spotify, I could only get up to, like, just because I didn't even know where the interval was. Just before the interval was when I started getting bored listening to the soundtrack. But then after watching Hamilton, I much prefer the second half, like the second act. It's way better than the first act, like song-wise, for some bits.
Yeah, I agree.
So, like, I really do think that you should give it another go with subtitles and a positive mindset.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And if I'm being totally honest, I think when did it come out? July?
It was
Jonathan Groff Day. 3rd.
Yes, it was Hamilton and Frozen over here. It was Groff Day. It's all about the Groff.
So July, yeah. Piper was just a month and she was with us when we were trying to watch it, so it wasn't.
See, your environment wasn't right.
No, and to be fair, I do want to watch it with subtitles because I want to completely understand what's going on.
So what I'm hearing is, it's not that you don't like Hamilton, it's just that you haven't seen Hamilton.
I mean, I didn't like what I saw.
Shut up, Brett. There's no further questions. Thanks so much for listening, guys.
I said I'd give it another chance. I mean, that's the best you're going to get from me.
But yeah, I think you should give it another chance, and then when you finished it and then have become ultimately obsessed with it, you can come back on the show and then you can tell me how right I was.
I think it's very unlikely for me to get obsessed.
Fine, whatever.
But I will come back on the show and give you my opinion either way.
Oh, well, no.
What a time that'll be.
I'll come back with
She was nearly not letting Craig come on after his comments about Figment.
He just sent so much abuse at that poor little dragon.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that does annoy me immensely.
And then he started calling him Spyro, and I was like, "Aye, sir, please."
Well, you can't name something after something that was around after Figment.
Yeah, it's just nonsense, really. Anyway.
Oh, I think Kate goes off on a tangent. But anyway, so we're obviously predominantly a DLP podcast. And I know whilst you're mostly somebody that goes to Walt Disney World, what's your feelings on DLP?
Yeah, so it's an interesting park. Resort, I should say. I was an annual pass holder actually last year, I think. I like Disneyland Park. I think it's got some good attractions. It needs updating, but the Disney Studio, it needs bulldozing. It is utter shite.
Yeah,
It is I think the worst Disney park in the world right now by quite a distance.
I think that's a fair call. I think it's been the worst Disney park in the world for quite a while.
Yeah, I think it has. It's just terrible, absolutely terrible. Disneyland Park, I think it is a lovely park, and I've been fortunate enough to see it when it's been absolutely covered in snow,
Dream.
which was incredible. Like having proper snowball fights with cast, when literally nobody could get into the park. We arrived, then basically all transportation into the park shut off later that day, and we were there for the week. In Sequoia Lodge. Sequoia Lodge, I think, is one of Disney's best hotels.
Fave.
Yes.
Worldwide as well, not just in Paris. I think it's incredible. Again, especially on like a cold French evening by the fireplace in that bar.
With a cocktail. What more could you want?
You've now moved yourself back into my good books.
But like overall, it needs some significant work. Do I think that Frozen and a cheap Star Wars land and a cheap Marvel land is going to fix it? No. I think it needs a lot more work than that. And if they're going to do it, they need to do it properly. I think putting a quarter or half of lands that exist in other Disney parks isn't going to quite cut it. I do genuinely think that the studios needs to close for like a period of 2 years to get a complete refresh and a bit more love, because right now you've got Crush's Coaster, Ratatouille, which is, I think is a relatively good attraction when it works properly, and Tower of Terror, which is average in Paris.
Have you been on the new one though?
When did it get updated?
The last
Halloween
time we
last
went,
year.
so Halloween last year, yeah.
No, I've not been. I think last time I was there was last spring.
Ah, you see, now it's scary.
Bring on Guardians though.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I can't say anything because I've not been on any of the other ones. Well, apart from the one in Japan, but like that's not the same at all. But like, I'd happily go on the other ones in America. But
I think its days have got to be numbered. You can't put Marvel next to it and then go, oh, the theming's now gone from Marvel to what 1920s, 30s Hollywood. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, if they're going to keep,
doesn't make any sense.
I was going to say, if you're going to keep studios as studios, why the hell could they not?
That is true. I mean, and Hollywood Studios isn't much different, to be fair. The theming there is a mess. It's better than it was, but it's still a mess.
Yeah. But I feel like that's part of the charm of Walt Disney Studios, is that like just kind of doesn't make sense, but you love it anyway.
Why is Midway Mania not in Disney Studios? Why have they got like 4 terrible fairground rides, maybe 3 terrible fairground rides, and Midway Mania, which is, I mean, it's a copy and paste job. Just put it in.
Yeah.
Midway Mania is great.
That's another one I can't comment on.
I think the biggest issue, like, I'd love if they just got rid of that, like the actual studios building, because I think that kind of really like segregates it a little bit. I think if they come up with a new entrance to it, that might even kind of help. But it does need a lot of TLC in studios. TLC that, especially now because of COVID, I don't think it's ever going to get.
Well, I mean, for me, even though they promised updates, when you saw that the tour was being updated with cars, for me, that was just like, yeah, you're not willing to spend here, are you?
No. They would have been better off just closing it and just doing something else with that area.
Like, I don't even really think you can call it an update, because they're taking it all away.
Yeah, they're halving it.
Yeah.
Putting some eyes on a tanker and then it's cars.
Yeah, but then also setting the poor tanker on fire that you've now given life to.
Good.
This is very true.
Set every character from the Cars franchise on fire and I'll be happy.
Now, Ryan, here we go again.
Come on, Cars 1, 2, and 3 are the bottom
Kate.
pile of Pixar films.
Kate is the one and only Cars fan.
Cars 1 is fantastic.
No.
Cars 2 doesn't need to exist. Cars 3 is okay. But the first Cars movie is so clever.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
It's not. It was
I wish you
created
guys could
purely
have
to
seen
sell
Ryan's
toys.
face there.
Yeah, it is literally like you just insulted my mother. No.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear Owen Wilson saying "ka-chow" for an hour and a half. It doesn't. No, I'm not interested.
Whatever.
Well, that's been the episode.
So the problem with Cars 2, okay, fair, absolute shite. But then Cars 3 actually had a really good message behind it. But the merchandising focused on Jackson Storm, who's only in the movie for about 10 minutes, while they had this amazing female lead character who they didn't talk about at all in the merchandising. And so therefore, that's why I think Cars 3 didn't do very well, because they didn't really push it the right way.
I mean, they did the same with Moana and Pua. Pua was in the movie for about 5 seconds and all of the merchandise was Pua.
No, and BB9E.
Oh, do you remember?
BB9E
Good
is
Yeah,
four
but remember
fucking
that-
toys.
Cars also gave us planes.
Hey now. Planes wasn't made by Pixar, right? Let's take a step back, right? Planes was definitely made by some BT
Planes was made
in
just
an
for the merchandise.
office somewhere that were
That was
like,
Cars.
Planes.
Well, true, yeah.
Leave Cars alone.
In fairness, though, okay, you can't admit that, like, you can't deny that it was mainly a ploy for the merch, because Cars was always a top seller.
Well, yeah, no, that's why I agree. Like, Cars, I believe the first Cars movie is great, and then everything after that was to make merchandise. But I really don't think you can hate on the first one.
Oh, I do. It's for me the first one is an average film. I'll give you that. It's not a terrible film, but every other Pixar film, apart from Cars 2 and 3, are better.
You think The Good Dinosaur is better than
The
Cars?
Good Dinosaur is a fantastic movie.
No, you're wrong. That's it.
I was in tears. I was in tears
You were not.
about 4 or 5 times.
You're lying.
I promise you I'm not.
Why are you crying? Nothing happens.
I was holding it together, and I remember holding it together in the cinema, and then my arm was like shaking, and it's because Donna was like, I looked over, she's crying, and I'm like, that's it, I'm gone.
Did you watch the same movie? Did the UK get the same release as Ireland?
I genuinely thought it was a fantastic movie that deserved to do better at the box office.
It's a beautiful movie, in fairness. You cannot deny that The Good Dinosaur isn't stunning.
Oh,
Yeah, but the story.
Yeah.
Well, it was sad enough to make me cry several times, so it must have been all right.
Just really not sure now, to be honest.
I think the two of you just need to agree to disagree. So, Kate, any other questions from yourself?
No, not anymore.
I've just got one question for you, Ryan. When the hell can you get off this screen?
No, I think my one big question is always my favorite question to ask people is, what's your favorite attraction out of all the parks?
Oh, that is tough. That is really tough. It changes. If you ask me tomorrow, it'll be different from today's answer. But today's answer is going to be Living with the Land.
Wow.
All right.
Was not expecting Living with the Land.
Yeah, for me, it's one of the only attractions at Epcot that still keeps the original vision for the park and is not falling apart.
Fair.
So
Do you think the only reason it's not falling apart is because they physically have to keep on top of it because there's live produce in it?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, the animatronics need a bit of help, but I think overall it's a great attraction. We did the behind the scenes tour for the first time last year, just
Which
because we
has
had
the
3
best
weeks.
name. Like, I'm
great.
sorry, though. It's a brilliant name.
Well, yeah, those are the days where Disney actually could come up with decent names for things.
Mm.
But yeah, it's a great name. And it's pretty cheap. I think it's like $25 each.
That is really cheap.
Which is super cheap for a tour. I mean, granted, you're learning about plants, but you know.
That's what all the cool kids do.
Yeah. But yeah, I just really enjoy it. It's a relaxing ride. It's something that I've been going on since my very first visit to Epcot. So Spaceship Earth is sometimes number one for similar reasons. Though right now it's not in a great place at all. And then Kilimanjaro Safaris also makes it up there as well.
Oh, they're all great picks.
Yeah. Good shout. Right.
Yeah, that was my one and only question. Thanks. That's what I'm here for.
Good woman. Well, thanks for coming on, Ryan. We finally got there in the end.
Yes, we got there.
Okay.
And yeah, it was really good. Thanks for having me. I mean, I'm not sure you'll have me again, given my dislike of Hamilton and cars, but...
We'll have a word with Kate. Be fine.
Yeah, no, it's all okay. It's all okay. I won't cry too much.
Well, if you watch A Good Dinosaur, it's fine.
Never in my life. Anywho, thanks, Ryan. Thanks so much for listening, guys. If you want to hit us up on Instagram, it's at Mickey Waffles Pod. If you want to hit us up on Twitter, it's at Mickey Waffle Pod. But you know, Instagram's where the party at. No point in contacting us on Twitter because we don't use that.
I get to it eventually. I mean, that's how Ryan managed to get himself a slot on the podcast, because he was whinging that we hadn't asked him yet. So
it does work eventually.
Yeah, if you are listening on your favorite podcast app, please do give us a rating, particularly if you're listening on an iPhone via Apple Podcasts, because that helps us out loads. And all the links to Ryan's 10,000 podcasts will be listed in the show notes, so please go check them out. And yeah, I think that's everything.
Yeah, thanks so much for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
This podcast is part of the After Dark Podcast Network.